hateful Muslims took over Times Square, horrifying people with what was caught in the crowd. In a world on the verge of war, standing with our allies and rejecting our enemies is something that is vitally important for the United States. We have a long-standing history of standing up for the innocent and making deals with other countries who stand for freedom and equality. Sadly, not all of our citizens, and/or immigrants, are fully in support of this anymore. The impact of a global worldview has taken hold so strongly that many people who enjoy our freedoms and benefit from our national partnerships would stab this country and its allies in the back for the sake of their religion or just a chance to be self-righteous. Some of those religious anti-Americans gathered in Times Square a couple of weeks ago to protest Israel. These Muslims and even some rather anti-Semitic Jews have sided with the Palestinians who believe that a good portion of what is supposed to be Israel is actually theirs. Sadly, there was a tremendous amount of pure hatred against not only the Jews but President Trump as well. For a group that claims to not incite violence, there was a whole lot of the violent talk in this supposedly peaceful crowd. Via Pamela Geller. Commies and their anti-Israel chums, Muslims and the Nichirai Karta, gathered on 7th Avenue to proclaim, loudly, that the Holy Land, Israel, Jerusalem, Al-Quds, the Temple Mount, Al-Aqsa Mosque, the City of David, all are the ancestral property of those Palestinian pretenders from Jordan, victims of the Jews. The big lie, claiming to be Palestinians. You name it. They claim it. From the river to the sea. In Arabic, Jerusalem is known as Al-Quds, the Holy or the Holy Sanctuary. More on the lies they spewed. NYC Quds Day rally, Hitler-like Zionists help ISIS and kill JFK. Al-Baghdadi is Israeli, U.S. #1 terrorist from memory. Al-Quds Day, Jerusalem Day. Quds is Arabic for Jerusalem, an annual event held on the last Friday of Ramadan. Initiated by the Islamic Republic of Iran in 1979 to express support for the Palestinians and oppose Zionism and Israel, 1, as well as Israel's occupation of Jerusalem and Jewish settlements in Israeli-occupied territories 2, 3. Nominally, it exists in opposition to the Jerusalem Day, Yom Yerushalayim, celebration instituted by Israel in May 1968. n.wikipedia.org web link. The videos begin with Al-Quds Day chants and pep talk speeches, of course. The usual anti-Israel, anti-Zionist lies made by the delusional Nichirai Karta were countered vociferously by the New Jewish Defense League NYC. The new JDL counter-protest had legs, determined to confront the lies. Still, even the truth confused some and irritated others. But, the JDL-NY had a permit, so their counter-protest was not buried blocks away. The commies got skied. Right back at ya. The Al-Quds commies displayed outrage as they shouted, screamed, their Fakistinian agitprop across 42nd and 7th. Most of the speakers screamed their message of hate, except for Sir Flounders. She spewed just as much hatred for Israel and America, but in an oddly quiet tone. Either way, it's still hate. Either way, it's still hate. It is right to rebel. Israel go to hell, at approx 1:35, but, today, they did not own the streets, just their hatred. So, as the JDL-NY counter-protest walked back and forth with the JDL and Israeli flag, sullen was added to the communist demeanor. The Al-Quds protest leaders slipped some profanity into their pro forma anti-Zionist, anti-America diatribes. They were not happy. The JDL-NY contingent, like gnats on a hot summer night, were annoying but legal. So the Israeli, American, Trump in 2020 and JDL flags strolled back and forth. Including an Al-Quds hate sign. The whistles. The Rams horn. The acoustic megaphones. The jeering back at the speakers. It all worked. But, next time, I'd recommend more whistles, maybe more cowbell. Yelling at the protesters, they yelled back and threw signs, as well as other small detritus at his truck. Caught this action in the video at about 1:38, all while NYC Students for Justice in Palestine organizer, Nardine Kiswani, was screaming hate from the stage. The arrestee was activist Nick Manias of Samadown Palestinian Prisoner Solidarity Network. The Manias arrest in picture below includes two of his cohorts, the woman in the green hijab and Sarah Flounders of International Action Center. Arrest report from Samadown: Night illegally arrests Samadown organizer at Al-Quds Day rally in Times Square. Nick's arrest took place midway through Joe Catron's speech for the Samadown Palestinian Prisoner Solidarity Network. A small team of demonstrators engaged in jail support arrived with Nick to the Al-Quds Day organized by NYC Students for Justice in Palestine after the demonstration, meeting with cheers and strong solidarity and support. Photo: Joe Catron of Samadown and NYC Free Al-Quds. Samadown Palestinian Prisoner Solidarity Network denounces the unjust and illegitimate arrest by the Knights of Nick Manias. Such attacks are in no way surprising from a police department engaged in daily terror against black people and other oppressed communities. This incident reflects ongoing Knight support for Zionism and racism and the framework of repression and surveillance targeting the Palestine movement and Arab and Muslim organizing and community existence. We urge full support for Nick Manias at his scheduled court date on 28 August and, most importantly, continued and intensified organizing, protest and action against racism, Zionism, imperialism and colonialism, from Knight repression on the streets of New York to Zionist settler colonialism in occupied Palestine. It's incredible that those who live in the United States, benefit from our alliances and claim to want justice for the innocent are still trying to take away the Israelis' land. It's not surprising to many of us though. If you believe in the Bible, you know that Christians and Americans are just the more recent casualty in a centuries-long clash of the titans between brothers. From the time God promised Abraham that his children would be beyond number, like the stars in the sky, beginning with 2 boys, these children have been fighting. If you're not particularly religious, you can just look at this as Muslims picking on a group that wants to share the sandbox with them, and they don't like it. Israel is by far the most stable nation in the region, but it's still tough to live in the desert, and it's even tougher when you've got explosive neighbors. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.